So, we've had quite a few different cloud-based games on the Switch, and quite a lot of them, say like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and say like Biohazard 7 or Resident Evil 7 only came out as cloud versions in the Japanese region. But today our Nintendo Direct gave us Control, which launched immediately today, and Hitman 3, which is coming down the line. But I said I'd just give a look here because Control provides a trial version. So yeah, if you're familiar with this screen on the Nintendo Switch, you might notice one thing different about my version to most ones, and that is that symbol up there next to the time, and it's the Ethernet symbol. So instead of using the Switch's Wi-Fi connection, my one is connected with a 1 gigabit connection, and I'll show the difference later on in this video between the speeds that you get with a wireless connection and that gigabit Ethernet. But it's a far more stable connection for online gaming, and yeah, it just involves a little USB dongle like this on the Switch. I'll explain more about that later on. I'll check a link in the timeline to where I'm showing the difference between the connection speeds with this and that. But what I said I'd do is give a look at Control under the best worst case scenario, because this is still obviously going to be a fairly weird kind of way to play this game, and obviously you need a persistent internet connection. But I'm just going to make use of the trial version here and kind of show what the best case scenario is on the Switch. So yeah, like definitely quite interesting to see like more games coming to the Switch in this capacity, because obviously like cloud gaming, if you're not aware of how it works, like all the processing is done on the internet, and then all you're basically doing is streaming a video feed of you playing the game. So your controls are uploaded to the net, they are rendered on a server, and then like the images of what you're playing is basically passed down to you. So all you're doing is effectively using the Switch as a video conduit for the cloud version of a game like this. So we've got our enhanced performance or enhanced graphics. So I'm gonna guess this is gonna try and test out exactly how much data you can stream. So yeah, I'm gonna check out the enhanced performance, because I think that'll probably give the smoothest version of thing. And then if this demo allows, and check out the enhanced graphics as well to see if that's playable. Odd. That's kind of like firing up a spot for me on their server, I guess, which is weird. But yeah, like I'm quite interested in this tech really, because quite a lot of the time I'm playing my Switch here on the connected to the dock, but I would really kind of wonder how this is going to fall apart, yeah, when it comes to actually say like mobile play of this game. But menu is like quite responsive. Consider this is all gonna have to be streamed. Like 100% of this is coming down from the cloud. So yeah, that's strange that there's loading. But like the loading should be quite a lot better than it would be if you're playing this on a local system, because the cloud gaming platforms usually use really good solid state kind of drives to get rid of quite a lot of that.
So here I am.
And they've got quite a lot more computing power, albeit at a distance from your home connection. Now, I'm not really interested in the story portions of this game. I just want to actually get to the gameplay. And oof, that is not a 1080p image. Now I did select the enhanced performance. Like, that's nice, but at the same time there is artifacts quite visible, quite all over the place.
And the ones that see it happen freak out and try to forget.
But yeah, that is, I would think at a guess, it looks 720 or possibly more. Jeez, the hair detail is incredible. Like I said, this is like just a video stream running from the
Anyone here?
from the actual cloud server, but yeah, that responsiveness for the actual jumping, that's quite like definitely better than some of the Stadia. You can hear the click and see that to the jump. That is very, very impressively. Yeah, that is quite impressive. Like I say, from a point of view of just the latency. And yeah, from a visual point of view, like this is the lower setting. So like that is 30 frames per second, and possibly slightly with a compressed version of a 1080p image, I might think. But it's definitely it's not a clear 1080p image. So I'd be very interested to see what the improved graphics version of this runs like. But yeah, that's surprisingly smooth, if I'm being honest. Like that is far, far better than I was expecting. But then again, like I say, this is using like the best case scenario of like really, really uncongested time, unlike my lungs, which are quite congested at the minute. Yeah, like there's exactly what cloud power allows you with the Switch. Like those facial features are miles above, say, the best looking games on Switch would be like Senua's Sacrifice, where the models are awesome. But like that game comes in at 18 gigs, and honestly, the model detail just does not look a patch on this version of Control from the cloud. I'm so stunned by the how like responsive the controls are in this. It is genuinely like impressive when you consider, like, if you see those horrific videos of Stadia being played, like this is just see deeper into the bureau. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. I should probably adjust the darkness. But yeah, like I said, just in comparison to some of those horrific kind of videos of how poor Stadia runs as a platform, I'm guessing that's the point where I have now used my 5 minutes of time, so I would be able to now purchase the game. Just looking at the detail on that, yeah, that is clearly like, it's really, really nice, but at the same time it's yeah, clearly not a perfect 1080p image, I would think. Oh yeah, you can see it there even in the text that appears on the bottom side. At the same time, like, visual fidelity of this is just that step above your kind of a native Switch game, especially like in video quality and stuff like that. I'm just skipping all of the story just because I want to have more in the lines of gameplay. But yeah, that controller, well, that controller response is really, really impressive. Like, that is the improved performance mode. I am now wondering about the improved graphics mode, because that does not look bad in the slightest, and yeah, that plays really surprisingly well. I was thinking this would be shockingly bad. And no, I just wanted to take a look here at the enhanced graphics version. So I'm gonna guess that's gonna try to be the 60 FPS video, but that would eat up bandwidth. Like, this isn't going to put extra strain on the Switch or anything to play it in higher graphics mode. What this is going to put strain on is that network quality, and yeah, I just want to see the kind of difference that the quality gives, but also what it kind of costs from point of view of.
Hidden behind that poster that leads to the real world.
Weirdly enough, that's a far less stable image.
But sometimes something crawls out from behind the poster. And the ones that see it happen freak out.
They say increased graphics and potentially increased graphics, but that frame rate is quite a lot lower than the
Why did you bring me here?
than the other method of playing this.
Hello? Anyone here?
But saying that, the motion blur is now in full effect in this, because that frame rate is a whole lot less. So it hasn't gone for, oh yeah, it's more the lighting and reflections and stuff on our code are turned up to 11 now. But yeah, that's a far less enjoyable kind of experience. I would always take frame rate over graphics when it comes to stuff like this, given the choice. And oh yeah, this I'm just looking for jagged edges on the actual blades on those things, and like, yeah, the visual quality when you stop is nice. When you move, there's clearly like some reconstruction going on between those frames, that like they're not all clean 1080p frames, not in the slightest. You can definitely see like a lot of noise on the blades of the blinds there when that's in motion. And not to mention the fact that frame rate is just sub-optimum, should we say. Yeah, again, like, I mean, you can see the visuals and lighting and stuff is turned way up over the other version, but just at the cost of performance. But still, I mean, how can I put this? It's still not as bad as Stadia was running some of the games that we've seen. But like, given the fact that my Switch is connected with like a gigabit Ethernet connection into a wired network connection, this is not really a way that you'd want to be kind of playing this game. Like, I mean, just not this performance, this increased visual mode. Like, that's definitely just too much of a hit on the frame rate. But yeah, say like the frame rate is hit pretty bad with this version, but at the same time the performance mode is quite cool. Like, I mean, this is more the kind of thing that I was expecting, which is like you press to go right and there is like a, see, it's down to the frame rate really, but when you tap to jump, there is about like maybe a fifth of a second or so between pressing it and doing it. And that definitely was not present in the other version of this with the high performance. And that's just on my connection, to be fair. But like, my connection is not bad in the slightest. So yeah, definitely like this high visuals. Like, you can see the reflections and stuff on all the shelves, and the lighting here is like obviously like taking a toll on the image that's being sent out. It is a far higher quality image when you're standing still, but at the same time, that is not that is not a kind of smooth playing experience. Definitely say here, when it comes to the actual platforming and jumping portion of this is going to be really, really painful.
Look at this place.
Like again, the reflections and stuff like that. That is the benefit of the cloud. Oh, the jerk between those two. Yeah, that is the benefit of the cloud in the fact of like this is obviously like visuals that you would not be able to get natively on Switch. But at the same time, this is just too much of this is too much of a cost, definitely. Like, oh, it's even like stuttering in the frame rates down to like, yeah, I would think the low teens there.
The same guy.
Still though, like more offerings like this, it's never a bad thing to have the option of playing more games on the Switch through different things. Like, I wouldn't advise playing the this high graphics version, but the other version, the high performance one, really, really impressive. I'm gonna put this down to lag. It was slightly lag. It was also me missing a few times. But yeah, like this frame rate is definitely somewhere in the 20s at best. It's bad when the frame rate is like to that low degree. Like you're gonna find yourself like aiming with the left stick instead of with the right one, just because of the fact that adjustments on the right stick are just too yeah, they're just not fast enough to really give that precision that's needed. Again, like even this version is still better than I was kind of expecting, but like this one is not ideal for playing this game. Still, I mean, it's better than the option that we had to play Control on the Switch yesterday, which was none. So it's cool. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is like I always say it. Like more options are not a bad thing, because some people obviously complain of the fact that like, you know, cloud gaming isn't for them, and you wouldn't want to buy a game like this. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, no game is for everyone. But for the people who wanted to play Control, just have a Nintendo Switch and have a decent, I would say, wired connection. Like, there's nothing particularly, there's no reason why this shouldn't exist. Character models and movies and stuff like that again like are really, really awesome, and just it is just down to the fact of yeah, the Switch not having to render or store any of these, so they can just go crazy and have the full settings. Oh, hello. They can just go crazy and have the full settings, versions of movies and textures and such, because yeah, nothing is stored on the Switch. At the same time, like sending an image like this to the Switch constantly is going to have take a toll on bandwidth, in terms of if you've got a limited download, this is definitely going to kind of kick your ass a small bit just on those download caps. One thing I wish is if they actually had an option of changing. Oh, that's great, guys. Thank you. Line up in a line for me. Best AI. God, punch through you. I make you burst into colors. Oh, that is a pretty effect. But yeah, in motion though, that is again, like that image is just being affected by the the download speed and just the fact that it's coming across the network. So just what I mean by a good connection here as well, say using the Switch's Wi-Fi antenna, even connected to my network, this is the upload and download speed that I get. So 30 megabit per second down and the 13 upload. Whereas then if I take a look at this in a wired connection state, so yeah, with the wired connection state after changing over to that, yeah, you can see the download speed is now 2.5 times pretty much that of the wireless connections. So yeah, that difference is why I'd advise one of these USB dongles. They're quite cheap. I'll actually put a link to the one that I used originally with my Switch, which is one I'm actually holding in my hand, which was at 10 and 100 megabit connection. But yeah, just there's not much difference honestly in the price between this and a gigabit one. So like yeah, I'll put a link to the two of those down in the description just so you can yeah, maybe consider buying one of those. I think this one was around a tenner, which was a cheaper one, and the the more expensive one was around €12. And it does make a big difference when it comes to downloading large games, especially if you're playing a lot of digital titles off the store and such. Oh, and just taking a look here then at the actual, say, the access pass, so for the price of it, because that's one thing that's kind of like not visible until you've actually gone in through the demo. So yeah, the unlimited pass is €40 for the game. It's kind of a bit of an odd one that they have like only one option to buy it. There's no like gain access to this for a month or for a week or you know, just a shorter period of time. I think they might have done well if they gave people the option of maybe trying it out like the full game for, yeah, like I said, just a weekly pass or so, because then you might have people, you know, signing back up to a recurring fee, which is kind of what a lot of services are kind of pushing towards right now. But still, €40 for that version of the game. I mean, would I buy it? Probably not. But that's just because I've got a ton of games to play on my Switch. If I really wanted to play Control though, like that performance mode performs really, really well. And it doesn't look too bad. Like it looks a cut above the nicer visual games on the Switch. The likes of Senua's Sacrifice is one of the ones where I always say like, that is so impressive looking on the Switch. Or say like the Resident Evil remasters of 5, 6, or even 0 and RE. Like those look amazing on the Switch. And yeah, I mean, this is definitely like a cut above those, but at the same time, obviously, it's not being rendered natively on the Switch, so you're gonna need that constant net connection to it. But yeah, I just had to throw up a video just on this one and kind of like take a look at, you know, sort of what the cloud offering was like with a game that was natively available here. Like, I've actually tried my hand at playing those ones that are only available in different regions, like the Phantasy Star Online that was available in Japan. I've tried playing that from Europe here, and it didn't work so good. At the same time, this one, designed for here, played at a time of low latency and definitely like really, really impressive. So if you've tried this out and it's been kind of stuttery or jerky and kind of like poor running, just keep in mind, like I said, that these guys, the USB Ethernet connections, I'll chuck a link down in the description of this video just as to where you can go and find these. And yeah, this original one that I had was a Ugreen version, but that was just a 10 to 100 megabit one, and the other guy then that I got, that was like a gigabit, and realistically the price was about €2 or €3 extra to go between them, so make sure you're getting that gigabit one. But yeah guys, if you like this video, my sub button's up there. if you've just found this looking for a Control Switch Cloud version, most of the stuff that I cover is Asphalt 9 Legends on the Switch, but I also do some indie game reviews up there where I took a blind play test of an indie game, and over at this side it's probably something to do with Asphalt that YouTube algorithm thinks you might enjoy. But yeah, hopefully give a click on one of those, or just give a like on this video, or share it if there's anyone's wondering about how Control looks on the Nintendo Switch. But that's it for me, guys. Stay safe out there, and yeah, click this or this, whichever way, if you're on mobile or on desktop.